This was what exactly? I mean, I know, I'm assuming the really non experienced actors or anything, but and I don't normally, notice, bad acting much, but wow, yeah, it didn't just have bad acting; it even had bad editing and a very insipid story, if you can call it that. Just pretty much the only interesting actor was, actress, the so-called witch, yeah, and I just like the fact that there weren't any translations for the constant Spanish. I mean, did they think that they were giving the audience a lesson in the language or something? I mean, sure, some people might. I don't know. Just I mean, sure. I don't know if well, I'm assuming if they provided subtitles, they could have the subtitles I had were in Spanish as well. So if one doesn't know Spanish, then can do much. It's a lot of looking up for a movie that really is really not very interesting at all. That bit, the so-called laughing man, was so weird and idiotic, and the editing was so bizarre. Like it had the most obvious green screen sort of thing. Um, this is possibly the most obscure movie I've ever watched, but it's not. It's sort of understandable why it's obscure. It's not like I don't watch sometimes movies that are popular and boring as well, or popular and boring and yet well received, and yet it seems like it is boring but well received somehow. One of those, or I don't know. This was too facile. I think the word is that, and the fact it was bookended by what I consider to be a boring sport doesn't help. The ending also, I have no idea what the hell that was. Oh, he was supposed to have been struck in the heart by an arrow, and suddenly he's totally alive again. Um, yeah, I don't know what any of this was, honestly. It's somehow slow. I mean, it's not exactly a long movie, below average, and yeah, it feels very slow. Yeah, and most Spanish wasn't even needed. I guess maybe that's why they didn't even bother with the translation. But if it's not needed, if it's not very, important context or anything, why even have it there? I honestly wonder if I seriously thought it was like a lesson or something, and then just thought, oh yeah, maybe I'll just let the audience look up everything. Why not? Because looking up is so interesting in a movie, especially a movie that is intrinsically not interesting. And that CGI at the end, wow. Yeah, they told her to go to the president of the Bird Society just to get a CGI owl. Somehow she only ever saw it once in her life, apparently, supposedly. And then they see it within 2 minutes. Yeah, totally believable. This is the thing, and it's just not like, um, movies aimed at, children mainly are sort of facile sometimes, but they don't need to be so slow and boring. I mean, they can have an interesting story, really. I do actually find mostly animation that not ones aimed for even younger toddlers and such. Those do tend to be boring. Yeah, I mean they're aimed for they tend to be very repetitive. It's quite something. No, but otherwise no. Um, that could be interesting. I've seen interesting, but not this. No, this was I mean, I've seen others, like like Never Ending Story. It's sort of aimed at younger audience, and that's it's interesting. Uses interesting CGI as well. Unlike this, I mean, I don't know what you thought. No, that's the thing. I mean, but it's implied that they got there further, I guess, but it's not really very obvious at all, and it just flew away. And I honestly don't know if it was trying to be obscure in what it was doing, but it ended up being nonsensical. Really. Um. Well. Yeah. It's quite bizarre. Some movies are, but there's.